Hey, this is Liam, your narrator. Just want to say a very quick thank you to all of you listening, watching, commenting, liking, subscribing, sharing, and all of that good stuff. It really helps out the channel and is much appreciated and very encouraging for me. So with all that said, let's get into the story. The Isolated. It started as an adventure for Daniel, a survivalist at heart, when he decided to live alone in a secluded cabin in the Alaskan wilderness for a year. Equipped with supplies, survival tools and determination, he hoped this experience would prove his mettle against nature. The first few months were a dream. He spent days fishing, hunting, gathering, and exploring the untamed landscape. He learned to adapt, to respect the wilderness, and in turn, he felt a sense of belonging. Then the storm hit. It was an aggressive, relentless snowstorm that locked him in his cabin for weeks. The world outside transformed into an unending white nightmare. His food supplies dwindled, and hunting became a dangerous task. Isolation and the unending blizzard began to gnaw at his sanity. One night, while he huddled by the fire, a thud echoed from outside. Startled, he peered through the frost-kissed window, but the storm veiled anything beyond a few feet. He thought it might be a fallen tree branch. Then it came again, closer, heavier. The following morning, he found large, unnatural tracks encircling his cabin. They were unlike any animal he knew, gargantuan, with sharp, claw-like impressions. Fear coiled in his gut, but he reassured himself it was some undiscovered wildlife, nothing more. However, the thudding returned each night, an eerie metronome marking his descent into terror. Every morning he'd find the tracks closer to his cabin, circling like a predator closing in on its prey. In the throes of desperation and cabin fever, Daniel decided to confront whatever lurked in the storm. Armed with his rifle, he stepped into the freezing night, the blizzard instantly gnawing at his exposed skin. He moved cautiously, his rifle light barely piercing the white curtain around him. Then he saw it, a shadowy figure, colossal, hunched, moving in the storm. Fear paralyzed him as the figure turned, its eyes glowing an unnatural icy blue. Daniel managed to fire a shot, but the creature vanished into the storm with a roar that shook the very marrow of his bones. He fled back to the cabin, barricading himself inside. The creature's roars echoed through the night, joined by the frenzied scratching and thudding against his cabin's walls. He stayed awake, terrified, his rifle trembling within his grasp. When morning came, the assault stopped. Outside, he found his cabin surrounded by the monstrous tracks, so alarmingly close to his barricaded door. The storm continued for several more days, with each night becoming a symphony of terror. The creature, his uninvited guest, would prowl, scratch, and roar, pushing Daniel's sanity to the brink. His food ran out, and he was surviving on melted snow. Fear and hunger gnawed at him, making him feel like a prisoner waiting for his execution. On the 10th day of the storm, the creature broke through his barricade. Daniel fired blindly, but it swatted him aside, sending him crashing against the cabin wall. As he lay there, semi-conscious, he saw the beast towering over him, its icy blue eyes boring into his soul. He braced for the end, but instead the creature merely studied him, sniffed the air, then turned and disappeared into the storm. The storm finally broke the following morning, revealing a world blanketed in white. His cabin was in ruins, but he was alive. The monstrous tracks led back into the forest, disappearing into the untouched snow. Daniel spent the following weeks recuperating, hunting, and repairing his cabin. The tracks eventually vanished under the fresh snowfall, and the creature did not return. He survived his year, returning to civilization a changed man. His tale of survival became a testament to human resilience in the face of inexplicable horror. Years later, despite the nightmares and trauma, Daniel would often stare into the wilderness, the icy blue eyes imprinted in his memory. The Alaskan wilderness had tested him, introduced him to an unknown terror. But he had survived. He had stared into the face of horror and lived to tell the tale. After all, survival wasn't about winning against nature, but respecting its might, enduring its challenges, and standing tall, even when confronted with the most horrifying face of the unknown. Hey, it's Liam again. This is a little Easter egg for all of you who have stayed right up until the end. Big thank you to all of you. And I look forward to sharing more stories with you very soon in the next video. Take care.